All right, ladies and gentlemen, I've had one viewer in particular. Their name is Bossier, and I've got to say that they might have the best or some of the best accounts or the best built characters I've ever seen. And this is an easy thing for me to say for a couple of reasons. First and foremost, being the fact that this Phoebe has an 83.3% crit rate and 300.6% critical damage. This thing is absolutely absurd. But that's not it. They have an R5 weapon. This is like top 1% substats while also being S6. And believe me when I say that her S6 isn't the most powerful in the game, but it does have a lot of very, very, very interesting bonuses. Specifically, her first three, where she has massive multiplier increases on abilities like her Star Flash, her enhanced heavy attack. This is, again, another big... big increase to her outro skill damage or the buffing on her outro skill. And of course, her first sequence node, which provides a massive damage boost on her liberation, or increases the spectral frazzle application. So with that, this Phoebe is looking absolutely cracked. I'm very excited to try her out and see what she can do, but she's got something very special as well alongside her. A fully built Spectral Rover, equipped with Chang Li's signature, and a crit rate that's at 80% when fully stacked. This is going to be one of her ideal partners, because we're going to have this whole thing going on over here. Obviously, Spectral Rover is going to be S6, and it's going to be reducing that spectral resistance as well. We're going to have Phoebe's spectral resistance from her S4, and then we're going to have Spectral Rover's S6 spectral reduction. And unfortunately, this Verena is not S4. Otherwise, she would, in fact, be the best overall support for this team because we'd have even more of a spectral damage bonus from doing some of her healing. We don't have it, but with the way that this guy is big whaling, he should have it pretty soon. As you can see, this individual is clearing the Tower of Adversity with absolutely no problem at all. We're going to go ahead and dive right on into it, starting off with this middle tower. And as you can see, this Phoebe was strong enough to solo. She's strong enough to solo, but I want to see what she does with the full team. So let's give it a spin.
Luminous energy. The fruit of evolution.
Swift and resolute. Hope the end has come.
And we just want to make sure that we're fully ready to go. And just blast. Oh my gosh. This thing is crazy.
Strike from the shadows.
It's gonna one rotate this thing. Maybe Moonlit Clouds on Spectral Rover is actually the way to go. In a circumstance like this, I didn't even do that properly because I was supposed to enter Absolution prior to casting my Resonance skill. We had one unbuffed Star Flash that unfortunately didn't do that much damage, and I do think that I can do a little bit better than this. So let's run this back one more time.
Photosynthesis. Life is in everything.
No hesitation.
Fruit of
Swift and resolute. The hour is upon us. Hopefully this helps. Strike from the shadows.
Sentinel protection.
Enter Absolution right now. Boom.
Crystals.
And do another boom.
Together we stand.
This Phoebe is so built, it's crazy. It's cooked. It's completely cooked. It's so cooked, it's insane. An S6R5 character does seem to do quite a lot. However, it's fair to say that this buff over here, for every stack of Spectral Frazzle inflicted, the target takes 50% more damage. Bro's taking 50% more damage overall. So you have to imagine, right? What does this character look like then when you're maybe not running those buffs? What does it look like when maybe all you have is a baseline spectral damage or spectral resistance reduction? Let's see what it looks like here.
Listen up.
No hesitation.
Luminous energy. Fruit of
Swift and resolute. Hopefully this helps. The end has come. Strike from the shadows.
Answer me. Sentinel protection.
These guys are splitting like it's fucking Weewa. And that is the damage without any Spectral Frazzle stacks on the enemy. And as you can see, the damage doesn't look that great right now. The damage doesn't look that great right now, unfortunately. We did see that the outro skill did a decent amount, but not as much as it could have.
Moment of resonance. Hopefully this helps.
Sentinel protects me.
And as you can see, the damage doesn't look as intense as it did on the tower, the middle tower, where we had all those massive bonuses to damage inflicted. You do have to keep that in mind. Phoebe is going to shine a lot more in the current TOA, where enemies are taking up to 50% extra damage based off of the number of Spectral Frazzle stacks they have. And so S6R5 Phoebe looked absolutely nuts there. But you have to keep in mind, right, that the bonus is going to have a very big impact on it. And so the last area that I wanted to see her in was, of course, a really important one. And this one, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be against Crownless in the Overdrive Zone. Let's see what it ends up being like.
No hesitation.
Oh, no!
Luminous energy. The fruit of
Swift and resolute. The hour is upon us. Hopefully this helps.
Sentinel protects me. Judgment time.
And let's just see what happens.
Purify. Together we stand. Repent.
I sense your weakness.
So not really enough to like one-shot the server, unfortunately.
The end has
But
come.
we are getting some pretty decent rotations out here, right?
Life is in everything.
No hesitate. Hopefully this helps.
Sentinel protects me. Answer me. Crystals.
And we'll two-rotate this guy. And I think that, you know, it wasn't the highest or the most crazy S6 performance I think I've ever seen. I feel like characters like maybe Jinsei or a Camellia would be a lot closer to like one-shotting in these situations. And so while Phoebe does perform spectacularly in the middle tower with those Spectral Frazzle buffs, I do gotta say that I don't think that her S6R5 performance is like at the level of maybe some of the other DPSs on the roster. Your Carlottas, for example, will one-rotate this dude very easily. Your Camellias will one-rotate the dude as well. Jinsei's will also one-rotate, but Phoebe kind of does have to take a couple. And you can't even say that it's based off of crits or like missing crits. Ladies and gentlemen, this Phoebe has a 100% crit rate even with Verena. So I gotta say, in terms of S6R5 value, it's not like Phoebe's like the best nuker ever, but you also have to think about it this way, guys, when it comes to S6R5 performance. Half of her nodes are tailored towards her performance when she's the sub DPS, when she's in confession mode, right? And she's doing things with Spectral Frazzle. And so when you keep that in mind, this is like two S6R5 characters in one, while we haven't really seen what the other S6R5 character does, right? When she's in her confession state, we haven't really seen what she's capable of because there's nobody on the roster that is currently able to leverage her Frazzle application and massive buffs to the debuff. So I would say the full value of Phoebe's S6R5 has still yet to be seen, and there's a lot of potential for her later down the road. We just won't know what it is until we know what it is. All right, guys, as a bit of a bonus, we'll try out Phoebe in her confession state. Do keep in mind that this is the one highly tailored around Spectral Frazzle and applying the debuffs. I don't think it's going to be doing that well, but we'll give it a spin. We'll see what he can do with Spectral Rover in as the DPS in this team comp.
Answer me. Life is in everything. The fruit of evolution.
Swift and resolute. The end has come.
Bluebird, be my salvation. Together we
Swift and
stand.
resolute. Hopefully this helps.
And as you can see, it's
One more time.
it's nothing to really write home about. You can see that there's a slight damage over time on the target, but
I sense your
yeah.
weakness.
Yeah.
Moment of resonance.
Yeah, this is what I mean, guys. S6 Phoebe is
Luminous energy.
in confession mode is not really a character.
Sentinel protection. See crystals.
She's not really a character.
Strength. I
Swift
call
and
upon the
resolute.
sentinel.
I sense your weakness. Hopefully, the hour is upon us.
It's a bit of a rough clear. And if you were thinking of, you know, using S6 Phoebe just in confession mode, I'm going to be honest, you're going to be in for a bit of a rude awakening.
Judgment time.
Just use Absolution, which I'm going to switch to over here. Just use Absolution, and you're going to have a way better time. Because that clear is taking 10 hours.
Pain is my penitence.
That clear is taking 10 hours when I'm in confession state. Because again, all she's being used for here are the debuffs. She's not doing a ton of personal damage. And she does have really lackluster performance if you're trying to use her in the sub DPS role. So if you have the S6 Phoebe, don't view it as a debuffer or as like the sub DPS. You need to wait for a better character to release that's better able to leverage your frazzle stacks. Because that was one of the worst S6 performances I think I've ever seen in gacha gaming history. So with that, hopefully this has enlightened you at least a little bit on the full potential of this character when they're big whaling. We'll see what she does in the future. Peace out. Let me know what you think.